Okay, our next example is page 607, number 25. How much more do public colleges and universities charge out-of-state students for tuition per semester? A random sample of 19 public colleges and universities yielded the following data. Tuition figures per semester rounded to the nearest hundred of dollars. So this is a good example of the kind of data that we want to be working with when we're doing a paired sample. We have two samples, what looks like two samples. We have two sets of data, but there is a label for each of those that joins them. This is the resident tuition for University of Akron. This is the non-resident tuition for the University of Akron. This is the resident tuition for Lock Haven. This is the non-resident tuition for Lock Haven. And so on. All of those are paired with another point in the other sample. All right, so I have already typed this into my calculator. And from here, what we're doing with this is really straightforward. We want to look at the difference between the two tuitions. It's probably easier if we subtract and everything is positive. So we'll do L2 minus L1, second 2 minus second 1 in L3 there. And then that just finds the difference. That's 8,800 minus 4,200 is 4,600. Now this is what we're interested in. This is what we're looking at. This is the difference. This is how much more non-resident tuition is than resident tuition. So we're asked to create a 90% confidence interval for the mean difference in cost. Be sure to justify your procedure. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Let's just do it real quick. We're doing a confidence interval, so this is a t interval. Data. You might have to change that. I'd already done it, so it's L3. And we want a 90% interval. So calculate. And there's our interval. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. Model. All right, what do we have here? We have a random sample. It told us it was a random sample. Less than 10%. Our sample is 19. There's more than 190 public colleges and universities. In the nation. And then sample size. Alright, so for this, we go to the histogram, right? This is the nearly normal condition. Nearly normal. Alright, so let's set this up. Stat plot. We'll make a histogram of L3 because we're doing this with L3. Zoom 9. Oh, okay. Let's turn off that and try it again. All right. So we have one that's a little worrying. So sample is unimodal. One possible outlier. So what we might do, actually, is run the mechanics and conclusion with and without that point. So we've already done it with it. Here's our mechanics. Okay, mechanics. We're doing a one sample t. You'll also see this as like one paired sample or paired sample t kind of thing. What do we have? We have an X bar. 3,584. We have a standard deviation of 2,073. And our sample is 2,759 to 4,409. All right, so our conclusion. We are 90% confident that the average difference between the let's say that the average public school charges between 2,759 and $4,409 more to non-residents. So that's one. Let's go back and look at it. Take out that outlier. Let's find out what that was. 9,300 there, probably. Yeah. All right. So we'll just get rid of that one. Now these don't line up anymore, but that's fine. So we can do the whole thing again. Tests t interval. All that's the same as last time. And we'll look at our confidence interval now. 2,600 to 3,900. On the high end, that's a good bit less. Our mean went down 300 basically. The standard deviation also went down like 500. So it might bear a little more investigation, see if that's typical, if that outlier is an outlier, kind of thing. Maybe. So it was UC Irvine. If that impacts anything, maybe they have special circumstances or something, or maybe they don't. In which case, like, if they're typical, we would probably leave them in. If there was a reason, we would be like, yeah, they're pretty unique. Take them out. But like, I'm thinking we want to leave them in which case it might just be skewed a little bit, which might also be a problem. But we have a sample of 20, so it's not horrible. But yeah, that's all of that.